Hello everyone, welcome to Simply Math, and in this video we're going to be covering how many solutions does a system of linear equations have. So let's get into it. A system of linear equations can have either zero solutions, sorry for that weird looking zero, one solution, or an infinite amount of solutions. So let's cover each of these three cases, starting off with one solution because that's what you're going to see the most often. So over here we have the system where we have two lines. One of them is y is equal to x plus 3, and the other one is y is equal to 4x minus 3. So let's draw both of our lines. So starting off with 2x plus 3, got the line, mark off our edges, and then change our angle, and mark out the second line. So what you'll notice is that for these two lines, they intersect exactly at this one point right here. And whenever and wherever two lines intersect, that's the solution. And so these two lines are going to have exactly one solution. Because if you notice, as we go more and more to the right, the red line just gets more and more higher than the black line. But when you go more and more to the left, the black line stays higher than the red line does. And so then they're only going to cross at this one point. After that, they're just going to get further and further apart. And we can check this by just looking at their equations. So whenever they have a solution, they're both equal, right? So let's set these two equations equal to one another. We have 2x plus 3 is equal to 4x minus 3. So if we decide to start solving, again, we're just going to move our x's to one side and our numbers to the other side as we did usually. Okay, so subtract 2x and then add 3. Subtract 2x and add 3. And then, of course, the numbers cancel out here, the x's cancel out here. So we're going to have 6 is equal to 2x. So x will be equal to 3. And so that's the only place where we're going to have our solution. And we can even check again by plugging that 3 back into x, right? You're going to have 3 times 2 is 6, 6 plus 3 is 9. Plug 3 into 4x minus 3, 3 times 4 is 12, 12 minus 3 is 9. And so that's the place we're going to have our solution, and that's the only place we're going to have our solution. And so in general, whenever the two lines have the same slope, not same slope, sorry, whenever the two lines have different slopes, they're going to have exactly one solution. So moving on to our second case, whenever they have zero solutions. So this happens when the two lines are parallel, and let me show you what that looks like. So suppose we have our first line, y is equal to 1/2 of x, and then our second line, y is equal to 1/2 of x plus 2. Of course, don't forget to put the little arrow marks at the end of each line to indicate that it's actually a line. Great. And so what you'll notice here is that the two lines are the same distance apart from one another every time. They are not going to intersect. And that's because they have the same slope. So then no matter what, they each grow the same amount every time x moves to the left or to the right. So they're always going to maintain the same distance apart from one another no matter what. And so they can't intersect. They're always going to be exactly 2 apart. And we can check this again when we set their equations equal to one another. So let's say 1/2 of x is equal to 1/2 of x plus 2. So now if we just subtract 1/2 x from both sides so that we have all the x's on one side and all the numbers on the other side, the 1/2 x will cancel here, but when you subtract here, you're going to be left with 0. Okay, because after all, 1/2 x minus 1/2 x is equal to 0. And then you're going to have 0 is equal to 2. But we all know that that's wrong. And so, therefore, this right here has no solution. And in general, whenever you have the same slope, in this case 1/2, but different intercepts, so like 0 for the first line, but then 2 for the second line, then you're going to have no solution because the lines are parallel. Let's move on to our final case, when you have an infinite amount of solutions. So over here we're going to have two lines where one of them is y is equal to 2/3 of x plus 2, and the second one will be y is equal to 4/6 of x plus 2. Remember that 2/3 and 4/6 are the same fraction, and so when we draw our line, so first y is equal to 2/3 of x plus 2, and then our second one where y is equal to 4/6 of x plus 2, and then we mark out the edges of each line. What you'll see is that both of them are the same line. And now, if you remember what I said earlier, the solution is when both of the lines intersect. Over here, they're intersecting everywhere. At every point in the graph, the two lines are intersecting because after all, they're the same line. And so that's why we say that there's an infinite amount of solutions. Because after all, the line goes on infinitely long, and at every point in this infinitely long line, there's an intersection, there's going to be an infinite amount of solutions. And if you check it by setting the two lines equal to one another, so 2/3 of x plus 2 is equal to 4/6 of x plus 2, and then you subtract 2/3 of x from both sides, the 2/3 of x will cancel out on the left side, but also it's going to go down to 0 on the right side, so you're just going to have that 2 is equal to 2, and that's obviously true, and so we know that we have an infinite amount of solutions. That's all for this video. Please make sure to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and follow us on TikTok at simplymath_. Thanks for watching.